is it? Oh, you can't talk. I know you can talk. You think we don't see you. You're moving around the house when we're not looking? Laying on the floor when I just put you away. And then one of you was staring at our daughter when she was sleeping. If you don't want to talk, if I don't get answers, you're done. I know how daycare kids treat toys. You won't last 5 minutes. 5, 4, 3, 2.
You're too late.
What?
What's done is done. The iPad is gone. Hope is ours now.
Howdy. Howdy, everybody. Toy Story 5. Okay. I didn't expect this movie to come out this way. And in a way, it feels like a personal attack. Or if everyone else, particularly women, feel this movie, like can resonate with it, we need help. Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining in. Today we are talking about Toy Story 5. Let's get into it. It's your sheriff here, about to give you some good knowledgeable information, and it's gonna be a long ride. Box office reached $71 million on Friday, going between $160 to $175 million domestic, $275 to $300 million worldwide. This movie is touching every surface of a TV out there. It is building and building. The budget for this was $250 million. Rotten Tomatoes, we have 93%. IMDb at 7.7 out of 10. Letterboxd at 3.8 out of 5. The writer and director for this is the OG Andrew Stanton. And if you're not familiar with his work, trust me, you're familiar with his work. He made these. He made that. Him and McKenna Harris were a part of the writing and directing process for Toy Story 5. And I just want to say, Mr. Andrew, thank you for making a very fun childhood to where my personality is enveloped because of these films. I appreciate you. My sarcasm, humor, and life outlook was shaped by you, sir. I don't know if I should thank you anymore or sue you. Cinematographer, which is actually the virtual camera work for this film because it's an animated series, is done by Matt Asbury and Jean-Claude Kalish. The production companies a part of this, of course, is no other than Pixar mixed with Walt Disney, but we also have a few other production companies, Araneo, BlackRock, and Dolby Labs. The distribution company is Walt Disney, so they have definitely been taking over. Eons of actors a part of this. We are back at it with the OG cast and a couple new cast members. We have Tom Hanks, Joan Cusack, Tim Allen, Greta Lee playing Lilypad, Keanu Reeves playing Duke, Annie Potts playing Bo Peep, Wallace Shawn playing Rex, Ernie Hudson playing Combat Carl, Jeff Bergman playing Mr. Potato Head, and Scarlett Spears is playing Bonnie, and Blaze, who I'll get into in a minute, is played by Michelle Harris. The overview for those who do not know about Toy Story. Toy Story is a starting off franchise where it is about toys who are alive but not known to humans that they are alive, connected to the humans, kind of like Inside Out, but these are real toys that still try to connect with their humans that they're assigned to be toys and to help them in their life, making them more fruitful and joyful and imaginative. And they go on adventures and kind of act like adults in a way. Their frustrations is kind of like human life frustrations. Okay, so we're going on a continuation for a 5th installment of this, and I will say the GOAT Toy Story for me, I think it was number 3. So we're back at it again with Toy Story 5, and this is a new human. Their old human was Andy, but he since then gave his toys to a sweet little girl named Bonnie, is now taking care of Andy's old toys as well as a couple new ones. So Toy Story 5 speaks on the traditional toys and the new age technology that is taking over our world, where more kids are being exposed to iPads, phones, technology, screens, where people who never had digital pads and devices are kind of frustrated with this. And it kind of speaks on those type of topics, how to deal with the new age technology and how much exposure you should give to your kids with these devices. Back in my old days, I never had these things. I distinctly remember playing outside. I distinctly remember Chuck E. Cheese. I distinctly remember my first ever phone being a Firefly that had 5 buttons on it. Then the next one was a flip phone. We knew what life was about because we were out there. We had to talk to others face to face, go over each other's houses, roasting each other, being around each other. That was what life was about. We did have some weird toys, for real. I remember the little robot dog thing that freaked me out. I remember the bop it, twist it, pull it, bop it.
Hey, wanna play bop it? It commands you obey. Bop it. Twist it. Tap it. If you can't keep up, twist it. You lose.
I love that toy. I had a dollhouse. I definitely had a Barbie dollhouse. I had the Etch-a-Sketch pad, those marker commercials.
Imagine pens that can change colors or reveal a secret message.
It's magic.
No, it's Magic Pens by Whammo. The all-new magical pens that change color like magic and erase color like magic right before your eyes.
I wanted every single one. I didn't get it, but I wanted every single one. I'm showing my age. It's fine. I don't care. I look young, so you'll never know how old I am. And it was nice. And just to put it on the record, this is not a final movie for the Toy Story franchise. It's a possibility they're going to make another one. But this is a spoiler, so I will be going over the whole movie in depth. For this, I'm grateful that they took their time with the pacing and showing conversations and not making this too fast. I mean, they just ruined SpongeBob. I thought it was good. I thought it was decent. I really did. I actually shed a few tears. 1.5 tears. I actually did. I appreciated the lesson, but I didn't expect it, and I felt personally attacked. This is the spoilers. The beginning shows a plethora of Buzz Lightyear action figures, from one being awake and then waking up the other sleeper agent Buzz Lightyear toys. And I immediately was like, please do not let this be a Minions movie where it's just a useless plot of constant Buzz Lightyear. But there was a reason for this, touring their way towards the star in the sky. Then we cut into Bonnie. She is playing with her toys, going imaginative, going crazy with her thoughts in her brain, in her imaginative world with her toys, right? And then we see that she has a difficult time in making friends. She is super shy. Any kind of attempt to make friends with the neighbors next door, it failed. And so she runs in the house, embarrassed and sad. And Jessie, being the new sheriff in town, so she sees that she's trying to make an attempt to make friends with the neighbors across the street and tries to see what's going on, why they're not being friendly. And it's because of the devices. Everybody and their mama in this world got lily pads. They got pads, they got iPads, they got technology, they got the screens. And so she's frustrated on what to do. So she calls Woody for advice. So Woody gives her advice saying, hey, you know Bonnie more than anyone. What do you feel? What is your gut telling you? And she says she needs to find a true friend, an actual friend. After she makes that realization, her parents realizes how lonely Bonnie is, and that a new way to kind of expose her to people can be going along with the trend and getting her an iPad. They get her a lily pad, and that lily pad is taken over. Basically, Buzz 5.0, but very, very sassy and self-assured of herself. So Lily Pad and Jesse are at it. And might I say, I'm on Jesse's side, right? You can't come up in here, your new technology, tell me what's going on. I'm looking out for my kids' well-being. You trying to tell me what's going on? I had 3 kids before you, Lily Pad. Don't you try to step on toes and then come sass me in my domain? No, we wasn't having that. Me and Jesse, we was fighting Lily on every single base. Jesse conveyed to Lily about the problems that Bonnie is having, which is she's not making any friends. Lily Pad was like, okay, no problem. She connects with people who are already on the connection network, sends requests to nearby people and adds them as friends. And Bonnie now is invited to a sleepover with 2 friends found on the interweb. And when I tell you that this particular scene, there was 2 particular scenes that made me feel like I was transported back to my old days in being alone, bullied, sleepovers, painful moments. I don't know why Andrew stepped on my feelings this way. So when she packs to go to the sleepover, Jessie packs herself with her just to ensure everything is going to go smooth at the sleepover, still watching over her kid. But then when Bonnie goes to the sleepover, the girls have their pads and they're like, where's your Lily Pad? Where's your iPad? And so she realizes she will be a loser if she doesn't bring her iPad only and leave her toys. So she puts her toys back in the car, doesn't want nothing to do with them, and she takes her Lily Pad and goes into the sleepover. Jessie and Bullseye, the horse, are accidentally taken by an older couple, and Jessie has her old owner Emily's address on her pant flap thing. The 2 people who found Jessie are taking her back to her old life. She's going back in time to confront trauma. So Jessie then is stuck into her old house and tries to find a way back. In doing so, there she meets some new toys. A potty mouth, but it's called Smarty Pants. I don't like this character. Vintage camera, which I actually had one of those, but it was pink. My mom likes to throw stuff away, so I have no idea where it is. And a hippo toy. So she meets these not as advanced technology toys, but semi-advanced where they need batteries. And again, Jessie is anti-tech, so she's already coming at it with any sort of technology. Also, Woody and Buzz have their own separate life. Buzz is trying to propose to Jessie. Woody thought he heard Jessie ask for help after their call. Him and Buzz try to find Jessie after they realized that Jessie didn't come back from the sleepover with Bonnie. That went terribly, actually. They're trying to find Jessie, and they're now interrogating Lily Pad, and Lily Pad is not making it easy, but neither is Woody and Buzz. So the double duo is back at it again. As Jessie is exploring the farmhouse, she is open to old wounds and pain and just trying to find a way to get back to Bonnie. In doing so, she meets Blaze, the child in the farmhouse, who happens to love toys and doesn't really care for technology like that. And she thinks that Blaze is the best friend for Bonnie. So all there is to it is to connect them. So Jessie makes efforts and works with the Smarty Pants, camera, and hippo to connect back to Bonnie so she can come over to the farmhouse to collect her toys and eventually meet Blaze. So you can see Jessie opening up in some kind of way. But Bonnie is not doing great at all. The sleepover was a disaster. She basically was not able to connect with any of these girls. They were always on their pads, and then they just didn't show what really happened at the sleepover, but we just know that Bonnie didn't have a good time. When Jessie makes the attempt to reach out to Bonnie through the technology way, a message gets blasted onto the iPad of everyone that Bonnie's toys have been found with pictures of Jessie and Bullseye. Apparently it goes to the girls that Bonnie had a sleepover with, and within their group chat, which I don't even know how they're able to text on a group chat, they apparently find out that it's Bonnie's toys and makes fun of her for having it, saying, you know, are you gonna cry like a baby? You know, just making fun of her for still playing with toys because they're kids. It's crazy. You're making fun of a girl who has toys. Nobody had Barbies? Your parents don't like you. If your room only consists of clothes and an iPad, that's tragic. And she's the one being made fun of. Crazy. So Bonnie is now frustrated, and now she's even more sad because she feels left out, made fun of, and alone more than ever. Bonnie's parents saw that the toys were at this farmhouse, and they take Bonnie to the farmhouse so she could pick up her toys. But in doing so, Bonnie realizes she doesn't want her toys. Out of peer pressure and bullying, So she leaves the toys, and the farm girl Blaze is like, oh, okay, well, your toys are cool and vintage. You can always reach out whenever you want to come pick them up. She's super sweet girl. Oh, moving on. After realizing that Lily Pad made a mistake in trying to get Bonnie to make new friends with these internet kids, she realizes that her existence is actually harmful for Bonnie. She throws herself away. A lot of sad emotions are shown throughout this film, where Bonnie is very sad about having to be alone and having to conform into the ways of this new age technology, yet she doesn't want to. Jessie, seeing that her attempt failed, so she feels like a failure of a sheriff and a toy and useless, and that she's just not doing her job right. Basically, Jessie kind of goes to a tree with the tire hanging on it, and she reflects how useless she feels. Jessie! And so in feeling like she has to throw herself away, Jessie then starts to see some lunchbox buried within the ground, and she gets the horse on the farm to dig up said lunchbox. In it shows mementos and memories of her kid, Emily, but she realizes that Emily, as she grew up, had a child, and that child was named Jessie. So Jessie realizes her owner didn't discard her, her owner didn't hate her. Her owner loved her so much that she named her child after her. Why y'all gotta be so deep? So with this new profound knowledge, she now discovers that she is not useless. She is actually special. I'm not crying, you are. So Woody and Buzz finally found Jessie, and they hightail it back to her with all the buzzes in play, and they realize they need to still make one more attempt to get Bonnie and Blaze connect again. So this is where the merchandise blows up. Jessie then sends a message to Lily Pad. Lily says, I'm useless. I threw myself away. There's no point. I'm sorry. You were right. Jessie says, I don't accept that. I'm going to come get you. So with the help of Woody and Buzz and other buzzes, the upgraded versions, Smarty Pants, the hippo, and the camera all go to rescue Lily. And as they rescue her, Lily upgrades the other buzzes so they can get them back to the barn. They upgrade Buzz, where when he had the little wings, and now flipped open to 4 sets of wings. Then those wings flipped down, and out came, like if you've seen a drone, they're now Buzz Lightyear drones at $50 to $80 a pop, if you were curious. I was. Tried to get one. I'm not paying that. Anyway, so the buzzes upgrade to get everybody back to their houses so nobody knows that these toys were moving and shuffling. And in doing so, Buzz pops the question to Jessie. Well, he actually didn't pop the question. He was very, very nervous. He even at one point, he was like, Jessie, I think you have to ask me a question. Jessie kind of clocks it in. She says yes. They're now engaged. So their attempt to reach back out to Blaze and Bonnie one more time worked, where they made it as though Bonnie reached out to Blaze to say, hey, I changed my mind. I want my toys back. And Blaze was like, okay, I'll come over and bring it to you. So Blaze comes over, grabs her Jessie and Bullseye toys, bring it over to Bonnie. Blaze comes over and comes to drop off her toys, and Bonnie is still painfully shy and doesn't say anything, but this time she was finally able to get a little courage and say she likes her shoes and she was okay with taking her toys back, and if Blaze wanted to play with her. That actually made me cry. Jessie, mission accomplished, and getting Bonnie a brand new friend, right? Bonnie and Blaze play together, and they basically are besties. Buzz and Jessie are married, and Woody and his old cute self goes back to being a lost toy to help out other lost toys from getting eaten by squirrels. We have a nice balance of both technology and toys. Thoughts? I'm very glad that they did not make this the last installment, because if it was the last installment of the Toy Story franchise, it would have done a bad job. To me, I felt like there wasn't a lot of interaction with the other toys, the OG toys with Mr. Potato Head, Rex. I even like Forky. They could have added Forky and a lot more parts, but it just kind of stemmed only from Jessie and her inner pain and how she has to go back to heal from trauma. I don't know if it's trying to promote therapy or what. Also, I would say if they did, they could have gotten a similar plot from Night of the Museum, my top favorite movie of all time. Actually, movies, the sequels are always incredible. The third one made a very nice clothes. R.I.P. Robin Williams. And that's something I think that Toy Story could have delved into as a different plot. After having Sid being the destroyer of toys, babies chewing, gumming, and spitting all over them being toys, I would have felt, and honestly, I thought this would have came from Mr. Potato Head, the toys understanding that their role as toys, especially battling technology, would have been enough, that they would have had a revolt and being like, you know what, I'm sick of being discarded and used in dust and put in an attic waiting to just never be used again. We should show ourselves to the humans or something, where it could have used all the group of toys in challenging their own life itself.
Take good care of your toys, because if you don't, we'll find out, Sid. We toys can see everything.
So play nice.
Or this is a kid's movie and I don't know if they want to go that deep. I wasn't sure. I was like, are we going to battle technology or are we going to work with technology? Because essentially this wasn't even about technology. It was about making a friend. No, I'm not a parent. But to me, if I was a parent, I ain't gonna lie to you, I would never introduce like iPads. Maybe the most basic ones to help learning, but there's going to be such strict time on screen. I'm not, no. That's just my style. You're going to go to use rotary phones. You're not even going to have an iPhone. They're going to hate being kid. There is such a decline in education nowadays. Like their education is being tainted by devices. It's so much exposure to this that it's not giving them any sort of fruitfulness to learn, to read a book, to do things outside of looking at TikTok, social media, and judging themselves and comparing themselves, or trying to go up with the latest trend and being around drama and news and worldly stuff. I feel like if I was a parent, I definitely wouldn't have introduced my kids to any technology. You're gonna stick with these toys. And I know it's the thing where, you know, if you're not a parent, you really don't know how hard it is to just get a break. And so putting a screen in front of your kid for a moment is the best way. But listen, I think that when it comes to those technology, there has to be some kind of boundary, because once they get lenient, their brains are super new. When you expose these type of devices and they get sucked into it, because it was an immediate addiction with Bonnie where she couldn't even put the thing down until her parents say, okay, you're gonna have to put it down. And she freaked out when it wasn't charged. To have that would freak me out, my kid being so reliant on technology. I think it's not something that should be mainly used as a source. It can be used as a tool to help, but as the main source, no. But that's neither here nor there. It definitely does brings up questions for parents. How much screen time is good for your child? I do like this awareness. It definitely does bring that attention up of technology can be an overuse where it can take away from a child's connection with other kids. And also within this film, I don't like potty mouth, smarty mouth, because they did introduce some kind of characteristic traits that were not kid friendly. When Jesse meets Smarty Mouth, he is on low battery, but he acts drunk, and it was like not cute. And I was in the theater and I heard a couple chuckles, but it was like I would not be okay with like seeing that. Not only did it was acting drunk like it needed some more juice, and it mentioned juice, but it also was like cursy, bad mouthy. And I'm like, introducing something like that isn't really a great thing for kids to get used to, because when Jesse and him and the other toys were playing with Blaze, his name was like Chat or something, or Chit, and it kept sounding like the other word from Chit. And he kept saying, call me Chit, and it was like a little too close for comfort for me. Other than that, I rate this 3 out of 5 chocolates. It wasn't bad. I like the concept, although I wish it ended. I don't know why they keep making these. Come up with new ideas. Andrew, you are a goat with this. You could come up with different Pixar movies if you wanted to. Just saying. But anyway, that's my review for Toy Story 5. Check it out for yourself if you want. Every time like Pixar comes out with something, you know it's going to be an emotional roller coaster and a good lesson where it's not always a happy ending. So I appreciate this. At least if Jessie realizes she won't always be played, at least she made the mission to have Bonnie a friend. And that's the most important part, is to connect with people, to find your person, to connect with somebody else and not be glued to your phone. Meet people in real world. We exist, you know. May your light shine bright for all to see, and I will see you in the next video.